he also says that there was a pre-poll alliance with the BJP. Eknath Shinde, one of his grievances is that also that this alliance with the Congress and the NCP was of with very ideologically different parties, and that it should be with the BJP. I mean, I'm sure one can argue that did he wake up to that 2.5 years after the coalition was formed?
No, let me also tell you, when this coalition came about, every single MLA, every single leader, every single senior leader was consulted. It was a collective decision of the party. It wasn't thrust upon anyone. Every single MLA was on board with this particular decision. And now to say that, 2.5 years later, that this coalition is unholy, you were part of that decision-making process. For you to say we have left the path of Hindutva, which Hindutva governance or Hindutva thought process or thought ideology says that instead of having a conversation and treating, the entire political party as a family or the world as one family, you stabbed the most trusted lieutenant, stabbed you in the back, and he moves on and he makes these kind of accusations. So these are charges which honestly nobody is buying. Someone who has had the most important ministry, has been in the decision-making process, has chosen to be part of this alliance. And if he had any grievances whatsoever, and all these MLAs had grievances whatsoever, they could have found a way within the four walls of the political party.
But there's also another criticism that how did Uddhav Thackeray not know that a rebellion of this nature was brewing against him for some time? Again, there have been reports that Sharad Pawar had warned him about 5 months ago that there's trouble around the corner, be careful, and that he chose really not to listen to that. Then you had this sort of cross-voting in the Rajya Sabha and then the MLC elections, and then this disaster happened. Is that a failure to comprehend the sort of seriousness of what was happening?
I don't know about the warnings, etc. But I just asked you a question and asked every single Indian a question. That someone who is the most trusted, someone who has been empowered, someone who has been part of the political journey, someone who has been, part of the entire movement, you would choose to trust them in times like these. You wouldn't want to believe that something like this can happen. You can understand they have grievances, but someone who has been such a long-standing and senior leader, you would at least expect them to come and speak to you. Not go to Surat under the garb of, taking your MLAs to build pressure. And you don't build pressure by going to an opposition-ruled state. You don't build pressure by going chartered planes sponsored by the Bharatiya Janata Party. And you also definitely come under pressure because of ED, CBI, IT gunning after you, because that is how the central government works.
No, but the point is, it's not that it's not happened before in Indian politics. There's, people stab each other in the back all the time. But how could Uddhav Thackeray not take those warnings seriously is one thing. How could you all not know that some 21 MLAs were going to Surat in the first place? They went late at night. Would you concede that was at least a police failure, intelligence failure, some failure?
Shiv Sena has seen, and that is why I say backstabbing, and I was comparing it to the Hindutva dharma that he was talking about. This is reminding them that. Now, about Shiv Sena has seen not just once, but 3-4 times. And it came from someone close to the family too, from the family too. So we have risen from that. We have understood the challenges. But yes, we could always look at what could have been handled better, etc. in hindsight. But right now we are facing a situation where we will work on it, and we will ensure that all these so-called challengers and so-called party rakshaks and those who follow the ideology of Bala Saheb Ji, and I must say Bala Saheb Ji was a person who what he spoke and his words maintained those words. There was no mincing of his words, and he stood by whatever he promised. He spoke.